Prior to 1960, businesses didn't work on strategy. The word didn't even exist in the business lexicon. Businesses would simply focus on making a good product, and if it sold well, they might look to becoming more efficient at doing so. And I mention this because, although a sensible place to start, I want to make clear that this alone is not a strategy. But from about 1960, as competitive pressures grew, the idea emerged that strategy could be something more nuanced, and if done well, would lead to business success. Strategy became how you beat your competition, and competition was rising everywhere. Thus, since 1960, we've seen a rapid proliferation of strategy frameworks. This chart is already 10 years old, and the pace of new frameworks has only increased. You can see the noble SWOT analysis here that emerged in the mid-60s. And what this reveals is a little secret that strategy consultants won't tell you. We don't know how to do strategy. Because if we did, there wouldn't be a constant stream of new tools, and you could simply follow the 3 golden steps to creating a winning strategy. But sadly, there is no such thing. But the really annoying thing is that we recognize good strategy when we see one. Take IKEA as an example. IKEA are the world's largest furniture company with almost 500 stores in 63 countries. They have 250,000 staff and a staggering 50 billion euros in turnover. Their strategy is quite literally on display, and yet despite that, nobody has been able to copy it for 75 years. So what can we learn from IKEA? I would say one thing stands out for me, and that is to do something different. In fact, so different that while you're growing, your competitors either don't take notice or they discredit you because to them, what you're doing simply makes no sense. I'll give you another powerful example of being different. This is the Whoop. Whoop were founded 10 years ago. Now, Whoop is a fitness tracker with no screen, no apps, no notifications. It doesn't do payments. The Whoop doesn't even make a sound. On most attributes that you would consider important for a fitness tracker, the Whoop doesn't make much sense. And yet Whoop today are worth $3.6 billion. Whoop is clearly different, and their focus is on better health data. But it leads us to an important conclusion about being different. Clearly, different does not mean being better, at least not in the conventional sense. Take the world's most popular drink after water, Coca-Cola. Now, one smart guy thought he could be better. He made a competing cola. It tasted better. In blind testing, people told you it tasted better, and it was launched with a big advertising and marketing campaign. It was cheaper. But Virgin Cola failed. Now, mirror that with the drink that 2 Germans discovered, a disgusting drink while traveling in Thailand. They decided to sell it in small cans at a premium price. Red Bull sold 12 billion cans in 2023, and the profits allowed them to launch a Formula One team in 2005. That's different. You see, being better is tough. Being better is especially tough in an environment with competitors, which we are all in, and that's for a number of reasons. First, better implies a cost, and for a small business or a startup, that's not a good thing. If you have your sights set on being better than a competitor, it will surely not be free to do so, otherwise your competitors would likely have done it already, unless you really think you're truly innovative, and some businesses are, but it's tough. Second, if it's expensive to be better, you need to be able to charge more. Doing so means finding premium customers, and the issue with premium customers is that they're already in market, which means that you have to steal or lure them away from your competitors, which will likely add further costs in marketing and sales. You have to be a lot better to be able to do that. Third is the frontier problem. My example for this is 48-hour antiperspirant. It exists, but not many people use it, barely anybody. Most people are happy with 24-hour protection. They don't believe maybe the 48-hour claim, or they don't really care if there's any claim on their antiperspirant as to how many hours it will protect them for. So imagine you come into the market with a better product. Say you go for 96-hour protection. Will anyone care? Probably not. That's the frontier problem. Going better doesn't always count. Fourth is that once the cat is out of the bag with your better product, if it turns out that people do really want your 96-hour protection antiperspirant, you can bet that your competitors will copy you. They will one-up you. They'll possibly try to eliminate you. If you aren't much better and you aren't different like Virgin Cola was, then you never really stood a chance. Sadly, products and services can be copied. It's tough to be better, and it's even tougher to convince customers that you're better. And this, by the way, is why we actually have strategy. Here are a few more companies with an obvious strategy, and once again, one that's been difficult to copy. Now, it's been copied in every market by a new entrant, but no traditional full-service airline, no incumbent competitor has been able to compete with the low service model. Clearly, Ryanair is not broadly better, yet like its low-cost peers, it's consistently profitable and has an on-time performance of 92%. British Airways, by the way, stands at around 60%, and that's where the low-cost airline model competes: lower prices and on-time performance by stripping out everything else that traditional airlines offer. IKEA, Whoop, and Ryanair, they have a sustainable competitive advantage, despite arguably not having better products and services. What these companies have in common is that they choose to do just one or two things really well. They do pretty much everything else badly, but critically, they have a web of operational systems that support their differences, the few areas in which they perform really well, and the areas in which customers care about. Most companies do not realize that they're not only competing on products and services, but in operational systems as well. The reason that long-haul, full-service airlines cannot compete with Ryanair is because their operational systems support long-haul and full-service, not because they're unable to copy the product. It's because they have different classes. It's because they have meals. It's because you can book them through agents. It's the same for IKEA. It's their systems that are powerful and hard to copy, not the product. In the long term, sustainable competitive advantages are found in operational systems. IKEA have been doing it for 75 years. Yes, it's a prerequisite for business success that you identify a market need. Yes, it's a prerequisite for business success that you have the ability to develop a product or service that will satisfy that need. And these first two are what most businesses are figuring out as they establish their product market fit or positioning. But all markets can be entered by competitors, and all products will be copied or improved on over time. What's essential for success and the foundation for competitive advantage, and what is so frequently overlooked, is that you build an organization with operational systems perfectly aligned with your positioning. Only systems are capable of providing a product or service consistently day to day and at scale. The alignment of systems with positioning is the essence of strategy, and it's how your business executes effectively on a promise to customers, not a promise to be better, simply a promise to do well what matters to them. It's your brand promise, and it's what your customers trust you to do. We trust Ryanair to provide low-cost, short-haul flights. We trust IKEA to put the right number of screws in a plastic bag to build our furniture. We trust McDonald's to serve up the same Big Mac in 120 countries. It's not the Big Mac that creates the trust. It's powerful, strategically aligned operational systems. So what does this mean for most small businesses? What I'd like for you to take away from this is that being better is difficult. It's harder than being different. But being different is also daring, and it's daring because you have to live by your difference. But the upside of this is that it's easy for your customers to understand, and it's easy for your team to understand too. In a world of sameness, customers will struggle to believe you are better. But when you find a difference to stand behind, you stand out.